Hi, boys and girls. It's time for science story time. Today, I'm going to read a chapter in a book about inventing. This book is called On the Go with Mr. and Mrs. Green, and it is by Keith Baker. And this is a series you can come into the library and look at. And we're going to read the chapter about inventions. Mrs. Green put down her pencil. She had been inventing all day long. "What are you working on?" said Mr. Green. "A scooter," said Mrs. Green. "A solar-powered scooter to take me places I've never been before." "Can I go too?" asked Mr. Green. "Of course," said Mrs. Green. "I wouldn't go without you." "If you could invent anything," said Mrs. Green, "what would you invent?" Said Mr. Green. He thought about his favorite inventions: airplanes, eyeglasses, telephones. Toasters, sliced bread, peanut butter, not to mention his aunt's blue ribbon raspberry jam. Mr. Green needed time to think. "How about a snack?" he said to Mrs. Green. "How about pie?" "Pie a la mode, please," said Mrs. Green. "That's pie with ice cream on it." Mrs. Green went back to work. She still had a lot to do. Mr. Green went back to thinking as he sliced the pie. Then he suddenly got an idea. "Thomas Alva Edison," he said. He ran to his workshop. Mr. Green worked all through the night. He measured, sawed, drilled, glued, and hammered. He also yelled when the hammer hit his thumb. Mrs. Green worked all through the night, too. She researched, drew, erased, calculated, and designed. She also whistled while she sharpened her pencils. Mr. Green finished his invention at dawn. He couldn't wait to show Mrs. Green. "Please allow me to demonstrate," he said. "Take any pie, put it inside, select a setting, pull the power level, and ding, 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 6 perfect slices. No mess, no fuss, no problem." Mrs. Green was impressed, but she still had more questions. "What if I need smaller slices?" she asked. "Easy as pie," said Mr. Green. He grabbed another one, adjusted the dial, pulled the lever, and ding, 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 18 perfect slices. "Can it slice cake too?" asked Mrs. Green. "Certainly," said Mr. Green. "Cakes, pizzas, and watermelon." His invention was easy, fast, and fun. "But wait," said Mr. Green, "there's more." Introducing the a la mode maker. Mr. Green scooped ice cream into the a la mode motor. He put a pie inside and pulled a lever. The invention hummed and wiggled and jingled, and then ding, 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 it was done. "Voila," said Mr. Green, "pie a la mode just for you." The invention sliced the pie into perfect pieces and then put a perfect scoop of ice cream on each piece. Mrs. Green was thrilled. "That's an astonishing invention," she said. "We must take it with us." "Where are we going?" said Mr. Green. "With my son's scooters, we can go anywhere," said Mrs. Green. "Anywhere is fine," said Mr. Green. "As long as we go together." The end. Now, boys and girls, did you notice that Mr. Green took a bunch of inventions that he already knew about and put them together to make his new inventions? He thought about sliced bread, and that made him think of inventing something to slice with. And he thought about toasters, which made him think about a machine that he could use with different types of food than toast. So he innovated. He took what he knew and he made a new invention out of it. Now, of course, you can't use all the tools that Mr. and Mrs. Green used because your hands are too small. But you can do something else. You can take shapes and put them together to make something new. Here I have a bird because I have shapes made out of felt. But if you don't have felt shapes, you can have a grown-up help you draw shapes and color them and cut them out to do this project. Or maybe a grown-up can cut some cardboard for you and you can use cardboard shapes. Now I have a circle shape and I have a triangle shape. And that makes me think of ice cream that was in our book. So I'm going to take the shapes and put them together. And voila! I have an ice cream cone. I thought about circles and I thought about squares and I thought about the ice cream in our book and I put it all together to make a pretend ice cream cone. What else was in our book? I saw a picture of pizza. What do I need to make pizza? I need a big circle. Luckily, I have a circle. And I need something to put on my pizza. I'm going to put little circles on my pizza and pretend that they are pepperoni. Voila! I have a pepperoni pizza. I thought about big circles and little circles and the pizza in our book, and I put them all together. Let's see if I have anything else I can use. What else was in our book that I could maybe try to make? Let's see. Oh, I know. There was sliced bread in our book. How can I slice bread? Well, first I'm going to take some squares. Can I find some squares? Let's see here. Do I have lots of squares? I do. I have some squares. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to stack my squares so that they look like a loaf of bread. Do you see my loaf of bread? Let me switch the color so you can see it better because blue against blue isn't very easy to see. Do you see my loaf of bread? And now I'm going to show you how I made it sliced. I took a square and a square and a square, and when I took them off, it looked like sliced bread. So you can do this at home. I hope you and your grown-up practice with different shapes, thinking about shapes and thinking about things you've read about or you've seen, and putting them together to make something new. This is good practice for being an inventor when you grow up. Now remember to have your grown-up hit like and subscribe so that I can keep making new videos. Bye, boys and girls.